Yeah, where's the guy?
What's the tension at your
Is that?
Say you go to
Yeah.
the washroom.
This side of the camera is there.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
It's coming. It's coming.
Okay. So I have to shout to them.
You feel it, aren't you? Yeah, you know what?
Let's start.
He's ready back. Yeah, ready.
Is ready? Okay, cool.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Benat Saki. I'm the CEO and founder of Scholar, and I'm here with my friend and founding member, Henry Osafo. And we are building Scholar to be the operating system for academics to help students learn, organize, connect, and progress throughout the academic journey. So the idea for Scholar came from something I noticed for my first 2 months of studying KNUST. After attending many lectures and speaking with my friends, after studying and understanding how students prep and took the examination, I realized our study culture had changed very little. Now, this stood out for me significantly because every other part of our life had evolved very quickly. Payments had moved from long queues to mobile money. Transportation had shifted from we standing by the roadside to we now having the luxury to just book or order a ride. Businesses are now using technology to automate so many tasks and scale efficiently. But the way we studied largely stayed the same. We received our lecture slides, crammed and memorized as much as possible, took the examination and repeated the cycle. We even usually rely on past questions set as far back as 6 to 7 years ago, not because it's an efficient way of studying, but because there are very little systems designed around how students actually need to study. This made us ask ourselves, why are we in 2026 using the same study method someone in 2015 used? So we made a research to check out who was involved in solving the problem, and we realized that a lot of useful tools were already available. So what was the real problem? Fragmentation. We realized that every single platform offered one piece of the solution, but we never had any platform that gave us the entire solution. So take, for example, one platform will solve the problem of helping students just keep up with only their deadlines. Another will help them just generate quizzes. Another will help them just generate flashcards. Each platform was a useful tool, but it left students with the frustration of having to switch between multiple platforms, manage different subscriptions, consume more internet data and time. And we realized that we had a more intelligent and efficient way of doing it. That is how Scholar began. So our solution is quite simple. The student or user will upload their lecture slides, and from then, they can ask questions and receive explanations grounded in their uploaded material. They could challenge their friends and participate in academic competitions. They could generate quizzes, flashcards, mind maps, podcasts, and access a whole library of study tools. They could keep their materials organized by course, and even more importantly, they could track their consistency, achievements, and academic progress. But we realized that bringing all these tools into one platform was just one part of the solution. We learned very early that building an application without retention was simply a project and not a product. And we saw this design flaw in many other academic apps. They were very functional, but quite boring and easy to abandon. So we studied Duolingo and how they made a task as demanding as learning a new language, very intuitive, fun, and always worth coming back to. We didn't simply copy their features. We studied the psychology behind the visible progress, immediate feedback, reward, competition, and emotional characters, and we are redesigning it for university learning. That even inspired our Scholar pilots, their emotional characters that guide, encourage, and celebrate students throughout their academic journey. The wider opportunity. We built Scholar for university students in mind because that is where we first experienced and validated the problem. But after doing a little bit of more digging, we realized that the problem was quite larger than us. We paid a visit to one of the senior high schools to examine the government-issued tablets they were using for studying. The same problem existed. The hardware was there, the educational content was there, but the learning experience was largely static with limited adaptations, interaction, and personalization, giving them very little attraction to studying. So it even increased our scope. Our ambition is to make Scholar the learning layer that powers the entire student's journey from senior high school to university and beyond. University is where we started, but the entire student's journey is where we are going to. Attraction. Scholar is currently 4 months old. The current version that is live and active is just 2 months old. Our first MVP was quite simple. We built an application that helps students to organize and access all their course materials and past questions. But after releasing it and getting feedback from them, you realize that they didn't really care of just another application that does that. They wanted something that could help them study, personalize their learning experience, and get some kind of system that will make them more efficient at everything they do. So we took that feedback and spent the next 2 months rebuilding Scholar to what it is right now. Currently, we have about 570 registered users, 160 monthly active users, and 10 early paying users. For us, our biggest traction is not just in the numbers, but how close we are to the community we are building for, how fast we are able to ship new features, get feedback, and know whether we are supposed to pivot or iterate on an idea. Our go-to-market. Our current go-to-market is direct to students, and we do this usually by campus activation, class pitching and demonstration, referrals, word to mouth, and running a little bit of TikTok ads to just get ourselves out there. However, after collecting data from our series of trials, we realized that we were not simply trying to tell them to try another study tool, or try another app, or download this. We were trying to reform a study culture that had existed with them for their entire life. This behavioral change has made it about 3 times as more difficult to penetrate into that market. That is why our secondary strategy is institutional. Instead of onboarding every student one by one, we reach out to an institution, and they give us access to their students, their class, faculty, or even their entire student population, and we onboard them instead of doing it one by one. We believe that with institutional cooperation, we can scale from our 500 users to 50,000 users within a short period of time. While we haven't yet landed any institutional contracts, we are still heavily focused on direct-to-student acquisition. A business model. Scholar operates on a freemium. And on top of that, we have a 3-day premium trial where students get to experience the whole platform to help them make an informed decision on whether or not they want to pay for an upgrade. We have 2 plans. Plus goes for 30 Ghana cedis a month, and premium goes for 60 Ghana cedis a month. Just to simulate how our numbers will look like, if we were to onboard our first 5,000 users and get just 1,000 of them to be fee paying, 700 of them on Plus and 300 of them on Premium, we could make an average of 40,000 Ghana cedis on monthly recurring revenue and an annual recurring revenue of about 468,000 Ghana cedis. Apart from the direct-to-student acquisition, we are also open for institutional licensing, where they bulk pay us and we give their students access via their students' credentials. Next. The Moolre integration and ask. Currently, we are using the Moolre collection API, where we use the Moolre platform to power our payment infrastructure to collect our funds when students make an upgrade. But we are not only asking for that, we need mentorship to help us model our pricing units, economics, growth, and individual sales. Partnership to help us introduce us to universities, schools, and educational decision makers. And lastly, distribution to support us from moving from individual acquisition to institutional-wide access. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great stuff. I was trying to sign up on the platform. I think I'm having an issue. I don't know if your CTO is around or.
You are the CTO.
Yeah, but anytime I click on my email, I'll try using the Google sign up option, right? I think it's a great thing. Let me commend you guys for that first. I mean, it's a great service, especially looking at the education center. This is going to really help. But I'm signing up, and it keeps bringing me back to the homepage. Immediately I select my Google account. So maybe it's a problem in the back end. You have to check. I don't know if it's my internet, but I don't think that's the case because I went as far as getting to select my Google account, and then it just brings me back here. Yeah. So I'm not sure what's happening, but maybe something you can check.
All right, cool.
All right, great pitch. But you've piloted already?
Yeah.
Okay, so what were some of the things you've learned from your pilots?
I think it was mainly from our first MVP that we launched. We went to the students and asked them why they signed up and then stopped coming back, and what we could do to make them come back over and over and over again. And then after they telling us about how they had to usually use like 4 or 5 different apps for their studies. One is just giving them flashcards. Notion is just helping them with their notes. They need Google Calendar for their timetables. It's all fragmented. So that was really a pain point I realized in majority of the interviews we did with them, and then that's when we started to rebuild Scholar.
Okay. And in your MVP testing with them, did you ask them how much they were willing to pay for this?
At that time, we hadn't put a paywall on it because we realized it was scary for them.
Yes.
So we just wanted to remove every paywall, and then we just needed feedback. That's all. So we didn't even focus on the payments.
Okay. All right. I think the way some of these platforms grow out of proportion, like they blow up, is when, I mean, as Delphi mentioned, it's a great like tool. It's bringing everything together in one central place. But the way some of these things work is like when it becomes like a public good, then once people see more utility for it, then you put a paywall on it, then it grows, right? But you also need to keep, instead of also trying to bring everything together, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming, right? Some platforms are niched by design, right? Especially when it comes to learning. Learning is overwhelming already. So sometimes you want to be careful what the initial experience looks like, right? So that like what they need is what should be there, right? Instead of like having to get everything on there. But I believe this would be a great tool. So you have like AI embedded in it?
Yeah, we're using Gemini.
Gemini,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So when at what point do you think you mentioned your business model? Now that your plan is to actually get them to like start using it in the meantime, then you put a paywall on it. When do you think you start monetizing your platform?
No, we're already monetizing. The first MVP was 2 months ago. At that time, there was no paywall.
Okay.
But then the one we rebuilt has a paywall, and we have about 10 early paying users.
How much are they paying?
We have about 7 people on Plus account and 3 people on Premium. That's 30 and 60 a month.
13 CDs.
30 CDs for Plus and 60 CDs for Premium.
Okay, so how much have you made so far?
About, let's say, 360.
Is that?
360.
Why are you shy to mention that?
No.
You don't have to be shy. Like,
Yeah.
there are companies that started like 2 years and they've never made a single dime in revenue, right? They've raised a lot of money, right?
So about
Don't be shy. As far as you build something that one person has paid for it, even if it's one CD, you should be proud of yourself,
Yeah.
right? So, just keep learning, building around the users, and you get it right. Yeah.
So I think my great solution. The only question I have is for differentiation and distribution, because what stops the average student in KNUST from using a free tier of GPT or Gemini to upload, their materials and still get the work done?
So, the difference is that ChatGPT doesn't have study tools. It can help you learn, but it doesn't have inbuilt plugins for like study tools. So it cannot generate like interactive quizzes for you. It cannot generate flashcards, mind maps, podcasts. So it's more about the study tools, not just like an AI bot that can just answer a few questions for you.
Well, I have the same question about differentiation, and actually more so about how competitors, like the barrier to entry, right? So what barriers to entry? So a lot of players in this space, as you mentioned, obviously the Western players, and then there's, some local ones as well. In fact, last weekend we had another edtech, which I think at least 2. So I'm just curious how you're thinking about like your moats, your defensibility as a product. And what makes you unique? GPT is one competitor potentially, but what are you doing that the next startup can copy and do?
I think for that one, do you want to answer? So I think for that one, we considered adding an engagement layer to it. Realized that our competitors were very functional, but then they did not add the engagement layer, so it was quite boring and easy to abandon. That's why we went ahead to study Duolingo and how they made a learning language, like which is very demanding, quite interactive, and we built our study pilots that are like the avatars, that like the mascots Duolingo uses, right, to keep the users engaged. We also built our version, and then we are just trying to wire in the psychological effects that keep the users hooked. So I think for us, it is our engagement layer.
This is more of a comment rather than a question. I like that you've spent some time interviewing people and actually using that to build the experience that you have. And I like the fact that you pivoted from your MVP within 2 months. I think that shows like strong like product discovery, which you don't typically see. People sort of think about it, a solution for an idea and then they go and build it. But you guys are actually talking to people. So I think that's a really strong mark of where you're going. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, thank you.
Hello, judges.
Hi.
Can I have your attention, please? Permission to begin. Right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Team Engine X. My name is Gabriela, and we're here to present to you a solution that helps African businesses connect to the African infrastructure. Take, for example, an African startup, a business in this ecosystem that wants to scale up.
Please, so that we can hear you.
All right. Sorry. Apologies for that. Can I start again?
Yes.
Right. Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Team Engine X, and we are here to present to you a software that scales up African businesses and connects them to the African infrastructure. Imagine an African startup that wants to scale up using websites, web tools, and would have to have web designers, back-end engineers, and so on and so forth before they can actually get to that part they want to get to. This would take months and sometimes weeks for even development to launch. Now, as an African startup, you'd want to have all these things in your arsenal, but to have them, it will need money, it will cost time, and it will cost a lot of people. This is where Engine X comes in. Let me introduce you to Amma. Amma is a salon business owner, a starting salon business owner. She knows what her clients need exactly: online bookings, staff payment, staff development, online cards, customer records as well. Now, Amma wants to hire back-end developers, web developers, designers, and even marketers to market her business and scale it up. This is a problem most African businesses are suffering with every single day. This is where Engine X comes in. We are bridging that solution by building a software that connects African businesses to the African infrastructure. With Engine X, our business model is simple. You design, you describe your business idea, and then we build it for you. Not just the website, not just the interface, but the entire business model, everything underneath the business structure. Amma designs, she describes it to Engine X, and Engine X builds the entire thing. From data management, it is embedded in our AI in such that she doesn't need to go outside the AI tool to have another app to do all her data management for her. With SMS, bulk SMS as well, she can send it directly to her customers straight from our app. Also with publishing, she doesn't need to use another app or use external devices to do her publishing. Everything is embedded in our app. Payment collection as well. and cash disbursements, cash flows out, and payments, disbursements, and collections from her customers, as well as email integration. Everything is embedded in one, in the sense that we've integrated all these things into the app using Moolre's APIs. So we have been privileged to actually have access to Moolre's APIs and give them to watch to see how our workflow goes in a seamless flow. Wow. In Western tools such as Striplet and Bolt and Lovable, they build their designs or they build their systems using Western infrastructure. And they expect African businesses to use systems like Stripe, like Twilio. Meanwhile, those things do not work in our African ecosystem. Here, we depend solely on mobile money, localized APIs, regional banking systems, and integrations, which do not happen to work with the Western infrastructure. Now, this is where NGINX comes in. We are built for Africa, by Africa, to help African businesses and startups in the African infrastructure. Because with NGINX, our designs or our systems are not just built using Western infrastructure. We are built for the African business right here. And one of the things that makes NGINX suitable for scale-up is that we are being fully backed by the GDG groups here in Africa and Django Campus, amongst many other African development communities. This makes sure that NGINX is not only being built in isolation, we have a full developer community backing us and ensuring that our system is able to help and assist African businesses to scale up. We are pre-revenue for starters. That is to say that we understand the African culture and the system. We understand how it is hard to start up a business in this ecosystem. Therefore, we are giving our clients and our customers an easy tool to start with pre-revenue. And to say so that the market of opportunities is huge. There's over 90 plus businesses in Africa, are SMEs, with over 416 million mobile internet users on the system, and this economy is projected to grow over $290 billion by 2030. This opportunity is huge, saying that even if we are to scale half of this statistics given to us, the growth is massive, saying that we are seeing traction from the market. As we launched with beta previously, we've seen traction with 326 users so far, and 742 projects have been created. Also, we are getting traction from most African developers across Africa, ensuring that NGINX is on the right way to grow. That being said, we are not saying that you shouldn't use AI or you shouldn't use people for hire developers or back-end designers. No, that is totally out of the scale. But we are here to assist African businesses to scale up from months of developing, weeks of developing, just to launch. Describe your idea, and we take it up and build it for you. Now, every business has an idea. Every idea starts from somewhere. But ideas shouldn't be limited to limit access of technical expertise or infrastructure or software. This is where NGINX comes in to bridge the gap between African infrastructure and African businesses. Thank you.
Your traction page.
Traction.
Yes.
Okay.
You mentioned you have pre-revenue
Yes, please. Yes, please.
with over 300 and, is it 500 and
No, it's 326.
26 users so far.
Yes, please.
How?
Okay, please stand up.
Hi. We actually don't know how. We launched our beta version on the last day of submission, and then we actually launched with the whole GDG community in Africa. And then we found out that a lot of people were signing up to try it out.
What are you classifying as users? What are you classifying as users?
What are you classifying?
Paid visits or sign-ups?
So sign-ups, and then projects. There are some users that would sign up, will not create a project yet, but most of them were actually creating 2 or create projects.
Okay, because what I'll classify as actual users are people who have actually created projects, right? And not just start a project, but like actual project. Because my typical user is that SME business that has created a project and they are running on it, right? Not just a sign up, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to build on that, right? So here, what you should have there is sign-ups,
Yeah.
right? And then what he's describing is maybe a daily active user or a weekly active user or something like that, right? That way, there's no confusion about what users means there, because users doesn't mean much. So sign-ups and then daily,
Even
weekly, or monthly.
Daily active users might not even count here because
That's why I said. That's why I said daily or weekly, depending on how frequently they're. Yeah, the frequency depends on the application. So I don't want to say daily or weekly, but
yeah.
it should have some time associated with
I
it.
think it should be the usage or the type of user should be categorized by projects, because you only get paid when someone creates a project. Do you understand? So the other people are just bystanders. They are like, maybe you can treat them as impressions, right? But not because you are looking to scale this to a revenue, post revenue, right? So to scale this post revenue, you need people who are going to pay for this, and those people are not sign up users. Do you understand where I'm coming from, right? So you need to redefine what that metric is, and also I can see projects created. Why do you have 742 projects created?
Yeah.
Higher than the number of users. So
Some
it
people
means that
are,
averagely,
One is too many, right?
One
exactly.
Yeah, 100.
so the whole thing is that
But if you do the math,
once they land on the platform, we give them the chance to describe the idea, and before you move on to the next stage where our agents take over, do the design and all that, you create an account. Yeah, so you can anybody who becomes a user had almost had like a project at least in there. Yeah, so that's basically how it works.
okay, all right. I'll maybe the other speak as well. But before I pass it on, I want to understand the key differentiation between what you have and I know a lot of people who are using Replit, they are using Lavabo, they are using Google Gemini Studio, which is like cheaper. I think it's one of the cheapest. And they are using Claude end to end, right? So and they are building these things right from their phone. They are not, and they just need to connect Superbase or what's it called to it. And now I think Paystack and Flutterwave have like API keys, which are like very, very simple. So like, what is the core differentiator between what you have and what already exists?
Okay, so I think you mentioned about affordability, which is cheap. We are free now, assistance. Two, we made mention of the fact that most of these tools that you mentioned, right, would require you to go through like certain level of prompts. So you need to really do a whole lot of back and forth with the AI to arrive at what you want. And usually, I bet you, none of these tools that you mentioned can integrate Moolre APIs. Yeah. So what we are doing is that they are not looking at Africa. They are building for the Western world because they feel like, okay, this is where the money is. Yeah. So we help you integrate all the African stuff bit by bit. So we are no different when it comes to looking at the tool, but we are different when it comes to usability for African businesses.
Okay, I think the other panelists would have questions. So I'll pass.
I think my question is, what's the average SME user is somebody who runs a business in the market or in Accra. Let's take Ghana, right? What makes you think that? Have you done any user research to say that the average SME user in Ghana who is not tech savvy would actually go here and prompt something and build something? That is the question. Or is that not your average persona that you're targeting? Because you said SMEs, and SMEs,
Yeah.
if you think about it, are the people who run the economy, the people in the people around.
Yeah. So we are looking at a university student who has 1,000 Ghana cedis, 2,000 Ghana cedis to start a business, but do not have the capital to actually pay engineers. And we are also looking at bigger corporations, right? Yeah. So asking about whether we have tested this out. During the voting phase, we actually went around to allow people to vote for us. And after we described the idea, the first question is it free? Because they don't expect it to be free. Yeah, and some people right there started using Nginx to try their idea out. Some people own, it's not like they own, but then they have like businesses on campus, yeah, which they can actually build a very soft system that they can use for their businesses. So if we are to look at it from that end, then I think we have some level of understanding into whether people really want to use it or not. Yeah.
Also, to add up, you were asking about our target markets. Aside from the university students we are looking at, we're also looking at the ages between the young people who have crazy ideas to build up a business. And the 90 plus number you see over there is across Africa. We didn't look only at Ghana because we are building an infrastructure, not just for Ghana, but for Africa, because we understand the African infrastructure, and we want this solution to be available to everybody in the African continent. And just as you said, the normal people in Accra who hold the economy in Ghana, our market women, for example, our mothers in the market. When we were interacting with some of them, we did a population sample, and we realized that most of them have other ideas apart from selling in the market. And so this is also our target market that we are looking at, to say that it doesn't matter whatever economy or whatever sector you are in, but once you have an idea that you want to scale up and you want to create a business out of this, you can use our system. Also, we are not asking the entrepreneur to code or to know anything about coding. We're just saying that describe the idea of what you want to build, and our app builds it for you. Thank you.
So I actually signed up. So you have a user here. Okay.
Nice.
And and I think I'm impressed with the UI. I play around with a lot of AI platforms, and this actually stands out for me. And like he said, I just put in a few words, and it has started building it for me. My problem though is, I thought this would have been done by the time was up, which is about to be up, but it's still building, which is taking a lot of time, because I started this when you guys started speaking through the sign up process. I can see agent here right now. And I saw MCP there in your script. Are you using Claude in any way?
So we have some level of funding from Google. So we use Google throughout. So our cloud, the APIs, the AI.
So Anthropic
APIs.
is not involved in any way?
No, we don't have Anthropic in there.
So the agent you're using here is?
So it depends. We alternate, but then it's a product, an AI product from Google.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to say something about the MCP.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the MCP is just a server which contains like tools, right? So it helps you interact with the external world and all that. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just a server that we're giving the LLM access to.
Okay.
To
Which
interact.
LLM?
So the LLM, we are using Google Gemini.
Google Gemini.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are on
Which version?
Yeah, 3.5 Flash.
3.5 Flash. Okay.
Very soon we'll be changing to Pro, but then
You'll be changing to
Pro.
Pro.
But then we are
Okay.
doing with the Flash for now.
Okay.
Lastly, Delpi, so may I? The reason why it's keeping long is because it's building from end to end. That's why it's taken that much time. But it's not going to be more than 24 hours for you to get.
So I was about to ask.
I just had to add it. I just had to add it because you'd say.
I think last week or last
Yeah.
2 weeks, I was selecting the project for the awards.
Yeah.
And I signed up on your platform.
Okay.
And until date, I've not been able to get my project.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you pretty sure?
Okay, so let me touch on that. So, it takes time to build software, like it takes months and all that. But then on average, we are working so hard to make sure engineers can build websites in less than like 10 minutes with payments and everything integrated, right?
So I saw your screen. engineers was asking you to
Yeah.
probably name.
No, they said I should connect Moolre, and I've clicked it several times. The agent picks it, but nothing happens.
Yeah. So, did you provide your Moolre APIs?
No,
Yes.
I don't have any Moolre.
You said you don't have it, so you should go on. Which they didn't do that. Okay.
I
without
think we can do
context.
this offline. I just wanted to say I like the reach for Africa. I think that is admirable, and specifically VCs, if you're looking at outside funding, will be impressed by that. So applauding that. I'm wondering. My only question, you don't have to answer this, but just take it away with the localized, or I guess African, stack, so to speak. The only thing I can think of that would be different is like payments, right? Everything else is pretty generic, unless I'm getting that wrong, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like Rachel is speaking, I can just go to Claude and then do what Nginx is doing. But the only difference is you allow the people to select the payment method they want to use. Like you build that for them instead of me prompting the agents. So I think that's the difference, and that's unique in a way. It's you bringing more money to Moolre. So that's
Moolre has spoken.
Moolre is speaking, so you have to, yeah.
Awesome.
But well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's a gap, and that's why the discovery is very big, right? If they want
Has this question ever crossed your mind as a student? Starring a crucial exam. I have studied, but am I actually ready? Good morning, everyone. I'm Fokweja Puma Rebecca, and I'm here with my co-speaker, Mr. DeGraff Tiaboa. Last 4 years, I was a student. I bought different textbooks to study hard, solve different series of past questions. I paid for extra classes too. Upon all these efforts, I walked into the exams hall looking uncertain. Today, SHS, TEM, TVET students are also facing this challenge too. Students do not struggle because they lack information. They struggle because they lack affordable, well-organized, and trustworthy preparation. And this uncertainty inspired broad studies. Last 2 years, Ghana introduced new curriculum for secondary educational level. So if a student is to study 10 subjects at a go, that person must buy 10 different materials to cover up. And which we all know that in Ghana here, not every student can afford this. Yeah, not every student can afford these materials. And even if these materials are available for that student, they are scattered. Teachers are now trying to rebuild new materials to cover up for their lesson notes, their examination questions, their marking scheme for their learners. Schools are wondering how their learners' results are going to be at the final stage. So the challenge is clear. If the curriculum has changed, the preparation towards it must change too. Textbooks explain topics. It do not track students' weakness. Past questions provide practice. It do not fully reflect in the new curriculum. Teachers support learners, but they cannot track every student's weakness and strength. Generic AI generates answers, but they lack students' curriculum, their performance history, and also their exams content. So at the end, the students will ask themselves these questions after studies. What am I weak in? What should I study next? Am I ready?
All right, so Brock Studies brings all these things into one intelligent platform.
It combines the curriculum, syllabus, and resources, textbooks and notes, exam pass questions and patterns, chief examiner's report, and also tracks learners' activities and progress. Brock Studies follows a simple readiness loop, a very simple continuous readiness loop from the content to the practice to the evidence and also the action. When a learner enters Brock Studies, that learner studies from the curriculum aligned with the resources already in the system. To the practice, Brock Studies generates objective essays, structured mock questions, and other resources, which helps that student who has learned using those questions or using the content which are already embedded in our system. After that, the answers are evident. Brock Studies gives answers which include marking, explanation, source evidence, and feedback. With all these done, Brock Studies transforms or changes the performance and gives a clear next step of revision. So it wouldn't be study harder, but rather revise trigonometry, complete a targeted set, and then retry a next mock. Brock Studies predictions are evidence-based. Brock Studies analyzes the curriculum emphasis, past questions, chief examiner's report, and topic frequency. I remember when I was in senior high school 2022, when I was about to write my WASI. We all know that we have topic frequencies. We have topics which repeat every year, and we have topics which we know would repeat. I know the LP can relate. We have topics like circuit theorem. Circuit theorem would definitely repeat in our WASI. So we already prepared for that. This is a topic frequency. After that, Brock Studies generates a likely examination style practice question. These are not the questions. It's a likely style examination questions. After that, teachers can verify and edit and also give approvals on the marking scheme. Yes, that's Brock Studies for you. These all are saved in the system. The source difficulty, curriculum alignment, and verification history. All right, so Brock Studies can be accessible both online and offline. So a student can go online and access Brock Studies and also go offline and access Brock Studies. Brock Studies is not here to leak questions. No. Brock Studies is not here to replace teachers, but Brock Studies is here to prepare students. Brock Studies is here to enable teachers their judgment to reach more students. Looking at our revenue model, at 20 Ghana cedis for 3 months premium subscription, a student can access Brock Studies. But the exciting part of Brock Studies is that when a student enters or gets access into Brock Studies, he or she gets a 7 days free premium. That's exciting. Yes. So we took the 2025 WASI cohort of 461,640 students who start for the WASI 2025 WASI sitting. We did a realistic adoption scenarios per 3 months at 1% adoption. We are looking for it to generate 920 or 92,000 Ghana cedis. That's the revenue we are looking for it when there's 1% adoption. At 5% adoption, we are looking for it to generate a revenue of 461,000. At 10% adoption, we are looking for it to generate a revenue of 923,000. Beyond student subscription, we also look for it to teacher services, school partnership, and sponsored access. We can't do this without Brock Studies. We can't do this without Moolre APIs. So we use the collection APIs to power the mobile money payment, SME API support, OTP, payment confirmation, activation, and access code delivery. This is how Brock Studies work. To our attraction, we are trying to get traction through direct students and strategic distribution, right? So currently, we have 50 plus students on Brock Studies who are enjoying the free 7 days premium. And we are looking for it to make them also enjoy the 20 cedis premium. 20 cedis is affordable. It's also scalable across Ghana. Yes, so we are looking for it to get about 500,000 students plus. And with this start, we are also looking for it to generate a revenue of 1 million Ghana cedis. We partnered with Nokofio to sell resource checkers on our platform. This is a strategic move. Whilst the BC candidates are purchasing their checkers on the platform, we are indirectly also trying to sell our product to them. That's a strategic move of selling. So we don't rely solely on social media advertisements. Sorry. So we have a strategic move. Not every day that you have to go to social media. We also have a strategic move, which is selling checkers to these BEC graduates. They will definitely come to the senior high schools. We will sell these checkers to them. So if these checkers are bought from them, or bought by them, or bought by their parents, bought by their wards, or bought by their parents, yes, they can also look at it and say, okay, I've been able to purchase a checker from Brock Studies. Now I can also look at how Brock Studies works. So our market value is very broad. Our market value size is very broad. At 20,000 students from Ghana, we are looking forward to generate a revenue of 2 million Ghana cedis. At 5 million students from Ghana, we are looking forward to generate a revenue of $60 million, not Ghana cedis. It's dollars, not Ghana cedis. So expanding our market size to West Africa, we are also looking forward to generate a revenue of $10 billion. This is huge. This is how Brock Studies is huge. This is the biggest market size of Brock Studies. Yes. So why do we win? Why is Brock Studies different? Looking at Brock Studies isn't just an AI feature. Brock Studies isn't just one feature. Brock Studies combines the Ghanaian curriculum knowledge, historical examination method, chief examiners report, learners performance records, teachers verification, school workflows, and Moolre APIs. With the Ghanaian curriculum knowledge, our resources in Brock Studies are aligned with the Ghanaian curriculum knowledge. Without the curriculum knowledge, Brock Studies wouldn't work. But we've been able to align every source or every material in Brock Studies to the curriculum knowledge that we have now. Coming to the historical examination method, we know how WAEC sets its exams. It has a method to which it follows to set its exams. Brock Studies has that knowledge. Brock Studies is able to do that. Brock Studies is able to follow those methods in order to set questions. So we are not just setting questions from any method. We are using the historical examination method. All right, and the chief examiner's report. Every year, the chief examiner's report is released.
Time. Sorry.
All right.
Now wrap up. Okay, so for some of us who've been removed from BEC, etc., for a while now, please, what is Nokofio?
So
what
every
organization
answer
is that?
Every answer that we give here is by a team effort. So we have a 1 second discussion before we give out any answer.
Hey.
Yes.
You don't have time.
Yes, please.
Okay, please, Nokofio is a company whereby they sell checkers to BEC and WASI candidates. So right now we are partner a business with them, and it's a conversation business, not a sign business, whereby we are going to sell their checkers on our platform.
Yeah, I got the business model. I just wanted to know what they do.
okay.
And then the checkers are independent of the schools, and they just mark exams, right?
Yeah.
What do they do? The checkers.
The checkers. So they use the checkers to check their BEC results.
Okay.
Yeah. So if a student buy checker from us and check his or her results, we indirectly introduce Broad Studies to them. So if the student enters Broad Studies, he will be able to buy the checkers from it, at the same time access our resources. So that's the indirect we are talking about. Yeah.
This is going to be a very simple question. I'm Amma. I've come to Brock Studies. I want to pass my BCA exams. How can I use Brock Studies to get to, I don't know, a successful examination reports or whatever?
Okay. So you as a student, as a new student coming to Broad Studies to find knowledge or maybe ways to pass your WASI. So we have resources over there. So we have an AI tutor, where the AI tutor is aligned to the Ghanaian curriculum resources. We don't go away from the Ghanaian resources. So when you come there, you have to maybe anything you don't understand. So our AI tutor is going to help you with anything you don't understand in a particular subject. Apart from that too, we also have an intelligent historical curriculum alignment. So that is historical. So we train the system with past questions, chief examiner's report, and also syllabus. So that the system will be very efficient for students to use. So it won't go beyond their curriculum, but it will be so simple for them to use. Yeah.
So it's basically my AI like companion, right? Or tutor?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay.
So adding more to what he's just said. So you are AMA, you are trying to pass your BEC. Yes. So AMA, there's a simple way of using Brock Studies in order to pass your BEC. Looking at the other AI tutors that we know, you wouldn't be able to track your performances and weakness. Yes, as I just said earlier, it's just study harder, but I wouldn't show you a next clear revision step. Right. So as AMA, you are trying to revise or you are trying to pass your BC, Brock Studies is here to track your strength, your weakness, try and help you. Okay, focus on that. We have past questions in Brock Studies as a feature. You can also try our past questions. But if you look at the other AI tutors, they are generic. They are all generic. So the answers that they will be giving you wouldn't be answers which are aligned to the Ghanaian curriculum, but rather it will be generic answers. Yes, you can access Brock Studies and just type in 2025 World Cup, who won? Brock Studies will be able to give you that answer. But if you enter Brock Studies and you are able to input or prompt Brock Studies to align curriculum or align resources or align things which are in the curriculum, Brock Studies is going to be very, very specific. It's going to show you the strand, the substrand, that's the subtopic, that's the source evidence too. So it's going to show you the strand, substrand, which will also help you in studying efficiently. Yes.
Maybe just a comment and also a question. How long have you guys been in existence?
Okay. So currently, as a team, we've been in the system for 6 months. But Brock Studies has been in the system for only 2 months. Yeah.
Okay. And I know you were speaking a lot about the curriculum, right?
Yes.
How far back is the knowledge base for exams, questions, and things like that? Because you mentioned that your data sets include examiners' reports, examination papers, and things. So how far back to say that? Because predictions really based on your volume of data, right? So how far back is it?
Okay. So for the past questions, we have from 1990 to date. That's 2025. And for the chief examiner's report, the same thing from 1990 to 2025. And also the curriculum syllabus. We also have the updated one and also the old one. So we do back testing to see the analysis for the predictions, so that we can include it in our building. So we do back testing and see that from 1990, if we take from 1990 to 1995, we're able to see that back testing predicts that 1996, most of the questions from 1993 also came to 1996. So we did back testing for all the years, then we implement it in our system. Right.
Did you train the models yourself?
Yes, please.
Okay. And then do you sort of provide an accuracy score for the user to say that, because predictions are not 100%.
Yes.
Do you provide an accuracy to say that if a user is looking at it, you can say, hey, this is likely to appear, or the probability score is maybe this? Do you provide things like that?
Yeah.
So we really considered that. That's why we added to it that teachers can also verify and modify the answers and questions which Brock Studies gives, because we believe that not all AI or not all questions or answers provided by AI might be correct. So we have the section for the teachers, whom they can also verify those answers. They can also verify the questions to which the kids or the students are answering. So it cancels the question.
I'm assuming the feedback goes back into your model for retraining, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Cool. Product.
I wasn't following. Apologies, but do you? Is it live?
Yes, it's live.
It's live. Do you have users yet?
Yeah,
or
yes.
50 plus.
56 users, active users right now.
Any paid?
Paid, yes, paid plans.
Yeah, currently on the free.
Yeah.
Free model. There's something I've noticed about the Ghanaian ecosystem. If you're building something like this that has a subscription system, it's hard to get them to subscribe or sign up, right? And this seems like a very important thing, especially for people in the the TVET. I've seen TVET on your website. I wasn't actually following because I was going through your website to see what's going on. Yeah, and the SHS schools, these card checkers are things that are very helpful. What model, or how do you see yourself? I had social media too, and I was very interested in that. But how do you see yourself getting people to actually? Because what we need is you need money. Obviously, you need to. Moolre is not going to give you money, but you need to make some money. Out of whatever revenue you're pouring inside or investment you're pouring inside. What is the model for that? Like, how do you plan on, getting people to actually subscribe and pay for the service so that your efforts, the energy and everything you're putting inside?
With our revenue model, we are specifically going for the school distribution, whereby we partnership with schools so they can do bulk payment of what active users, and also social media is also one, advertising our product to the public, and also teacher services. So in teacher services, we are going to introduce our system to teachers, whereby they are indirectly going to introduce to their students.
Is there a reason behind it, or you just felt like, okay, let's try with DeepSeek? Because you'd hear everybody saying Gemini.
What are your backgrounds as you're answering that?
Wow.
Background, like, what did you study?
Okay, I'm a computer science student.
Computer science student. So you were talking about the DeepSeek. You just wanted to clarify that. So
sure.
It's cheap. That's why.
And very efficient too.
Yeah,
DeepSeek is very nice. Yeah, DeepSeek.
Are you sure you're not following? I hope you're not following cheap to produce. Because even though I mean I get it, it's affordable, but still produces the result you want. That's right. Okay.
So that's why we use the two, the OpenAI and the DeepSeek.
Okay, so when one fails, it falls on the other one. Okay.
I'm just wondering, probably I didn't catch that, but did you make mention of past questions and something of that sort? So in case I want, let's say, 2023 BEC past questions, can Brox provide me with that?
WASI, yeah.
Like WASI, you said WASI BEC stuff.
Yeah, okay. So actually we build the system with these historical examination patterns. So you are not going to ask the system to provide you this past question, but rather we are going to pin in with a topic so that the system will going to generate questions from the historical past questions. So that's why
So adding a little more. So everything on Brox studies is source evidence. So we have the strand and the substrand. So when you get into Brox studies and you go to the past question part of Brox studies and you ask Brox studies to generate the 2023 WASI past questions, Brox studies is going to work as a strand and a substrand, trying to give you all the questions from the strand of this topic. So a strand is basically like the topic and the substrand is the subtopic. So Brox studies is going to give you questions, let's say from these topics, from these topics to an extent that it covers everything from the 2023 WASI. So it wouldn't give you like the old form of WASI or WASI questions. It would give you in a strand and strand, topics by topics. Yes.
So the reason why we do the evidence resources is that we want to build trust in students so that they will see where the questions are coming from, not just any generic questions from the AI. Yeah.
Please go for it.
Please, I'm the one. Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, it's going to go for it because we have 6 today.
Uh-huh.
We have, yeah, but you have to go to because the old ones are still showing here. You just have to know the name. Remember Checks Ghana was there at it's not in
Okay. I love online shopping and I'm an avid Okay. I love to online shop, and I'm an avid online shopper. Sometimes I go on Snapchat, Instagram, and I see the most beautiful dress ever. But then I realize that the vendor is not in Kumasi, the vendor is in Accra. This becomes a problem for me because I realize that it would take forever for me to get this dress that I may wear to a date with my boyfriend, or this item that I would need to use. This is a real problem that exists. You may have not bought that Gucci belt because the vendor was in Tamale and you were in Ho. And that was something that made you pause because you realized that, oh God, when would this item arrive? It is not that delivery does not exist. It is that it is slow, not timely, and you cannot trust it. And that is why we are here as Raven. We want you to know that parcels shouldn't take forever to arrive at your doorstep. We are a door-to-door delivery service who wants to, that we strive on trust, delivering on time, and tracking. How does Raven work, and why should you use Raven? Imagine you're Ajwa, a vendor in Legon campus who sells thrifted clothes from Makola or Kantamanto. You have orders all over Ghana from KNUST, UCC, UEW, etc., etc. The problem then becomes that most of your customers don't feel happy or satisfied because it takes 3 days, 4 days, 5 days for them to receive their items. And this makes you lose out on your customers, and your customers also lose out because they don't get the dresses that they wanted to buy from you. It's a lose-lose situation. We fix that with Raven. We use a door-to-door delivery system with our app where vendors would book a rider to come to them, pick up all the things that they need delivered, and then these things would be delivered to our hub, our central hub system, where they would be eventually shipped to the right addresses. Why this is a better approach than what currently exists in status quo is because in status quo, for you to deliver something, you'd have to go to the VIP station. So me, Ajwa, that I sell my thrifted shorts and thrifted bikini whatsoever, I would now go to VIP parcel station, wait in queue for a long time, and now be praying and hoping that my item will arrive on time and that my people would receive it. Because realize that when even the VIP people send it to Kumasi or Ho or whatever, I, the receiver, also have to go to the station to go and pick up my item. It is a very stressful process for both the vendor and for the customer as well. But Raven fixes that because we are a door-to-door delivery service. We pick it up from the door of the vendor and then deliver it right to the door of the customer. You may ask how this works. Like I said earlier, with our app, the vendor books that, oh, I have these things, I'm on Legon campus, come and pick them up. The rider goes to pick them up. He takes all these things to our hub, and then at the end of the day, we transport them to their various destinations. The way that this works then is that when it reaches the destination, the customer has the choice to either come to our hub to pick up, or we will deliver it to their doorstep based off of the information that the vendor puts on there. How we want to make money from this, because in the end, ideas don't pay the bills. We think that the main ways we are going to make money is through delivery fees, which are the most plausible ways. We think that a lot of riders would want to use this platform because realize that the economy is hard. Everybody wants multiple options to make money. Yango delivery exists, Bolt delivery exists, but then Raven delivery can also exist, and riders would want to be onboarded on this platform as well so they can get extra sources of income. In that case scenario, that means that we already have a market of people that we can use. Secondly, we also have business accounts that we can create. So for example, if I sell skincare and I have my skincare website on, my social media, we can onboard our delivery system onto your website so that you don't now have to call us through the app and things like that. Everything will be seamlessly integrated into your website, and then you can use us from there. Then, how we plan to break even, because like I said earlier, you cannot use ideas to pay the bills. We need to make some sort of money. As at now, we are having our app built, and it's basically done. We just need to launch. We plan to launch in a few months, in 4 months or so. And we think we can break even in month 4. Why do we say this? We think that the delivery fees that we will be getting from the riders, so we will take a commission out of it. And then when we are also sending out the items in such bulk, obviously it would be reduced for us because we are shipping it in bulk. So that means that the money that we would, they would have paid individually, we would get that sort of benefit because we are shipping it in bulk. I don't know if that makes sense. mathematics, logistics wise. And so, oh yeah, our immediate target markets are university campuses, so KNUST, Legon. The campus economy is one that is really huge. Realize that there are so many students, businesses, too many students, vendors. People sell wigs, they sell shoes, they sell everything that is known to man on these campuses. This is a huge market that already exists, and this is a huge market that we can harness, because they don't only sell to their friends and their colleagues on campus, they sell to other campuses as well. We want to start with KNUST Legon because it's the most proximate one and the most easily accessible one to us right now, because we are students from KNUST and we have made our research with riders and people in Legon as at now. But eventually, we plan to scale up to tap into the Ghanaian market as a whole. So that means that not just for campuses, we would go above and beyond and go to the cities and then eventually the whole nation. Yeah, so exactly like I said, when we even get to the nation intercity level, we hope to even introduce things like drones, but that would depend on how much money we are able to make. So until then, we'll just, be doing the normal city stuff. How we are comparable to the current systems is that, one, we are able to track your order. That is something that is very important when it comes to trusting that you'll be able to receive your item on time. Because the main reason why people lose out on customers is because the customers don't know where their things are. They have to be calling the vendor, oh, sister, I bought this 2K wig, when will I get it? I need it for my dinner tomorrow. Like, when am I going to get it? Sister Ifia also does not know when Abena is going to get it because she does not know where the item has gotten to. But with us, we give you live tracking. So let's say you order, we tell you that right now your item is at the hub. It is going to be transported soon. So there's multiple steps and multiple levels for you to know where your item is in delivery at any point in time. So when you pick up, you get to the hub, it gets to the destination, and it is finally delivered. That real-time tracking is something that gives people a real sense of where their items are, and it's something that builds trust for both customers and vendors. Now, how Moolre is going to be our backbone in our business. When it comes to the SMS notifications, realize, yes, the customers' SMS notifications will be powered by Moolre, the payments, USSDs, everything is going to be running on Moolre. Moolre will be moving the money, and we will be moving the parcel. That is basically the connection that we're going to be having with Moolre now. We are asking for 80,000 CDs, which is a lot of money. How are we going to use this? We want to first get our own riders and our own hubs as of now, so that we can build the structure ourselves and then scale up from there. And then we also understand the power of marketing and social media, and we want to leverage that to hire people or use influencers, creators, like even our dearest right here, to promote our business and then to help us get into the market as well. And then lastly, we also use that money to launch. Yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, thank you very much. I would invite my CEO so that you may ask us any questions that you have. Thank you.
I just want to say you are a very, very natural presenter, very comfortable. It felt like you were just chatting with us. So well done.
Thank you.
I wanted to double click a little bit on the tracking bits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how exactly are you going to be, what are you using technology-wise to track the parcels?
All right, so when the parcels tracking is not like a map real time tracking, right? We give you point to point, like checkpoint where your parcel is. So when the delivery rider comes for your parcel from your home, you are aware he has come from the parcel. When you get to office, you are aware. When it's on route to the next city, you are aware of that. When it gets there, you are aware. When you get to the last person, you are aware. So those checkpoints are how you're able to track that this is where a parcel has gotten to for now.
So, for example, if when you order from Temu, AliExpress, and the likes, when they are bringing your item, they tell you your item is at the shipment. It is now coming to Ghana. It's now leaving Ghana to your home. So those are the kind of checkpoints that we plan to use, and not like tracking Google Map style. Yeah, for now, since we are good.
Have you looked at competitors' within the markets and maybe even nearby markets, like in Nigeria, for example?
Yes.
I guess how do you stand out?
Yes, so we did those market survey. We asked a lot of people who are into these businesses and normally send parcels to other cities, right? And most of the pain points, we realized that the ones they use, either they are using the normal STC VIPs, and there's a lot of stress getting the item to the other city. And then for other ones that also do like a similar approach to ours, okay, we realize that they take a while before they come for the parcel. Assuming they see the request for them to come for a pickup today, sometimes they take a while because they might not be delivering an item to that particular destination for that moment. So we are trying to solve those pain points by coming for the parcel the same day and deliver it within 24 hours to the next city.
So great presentation. I have 2 questions, right? So the first is, you are building around infrastructure. Are you looking at purchasing things like bikes? And because I'm wondering how, for a real life use case, which you'd have to walk me through, if a user from a KNUST wants to send something to a Legon, what does that in real life look like?
All right, so let me start with the first part of the question. When we start launching, okay, we are going to partner with already riders, which we are in talks with some of them at the moment on the various campuses, right? Because that is simpler. But we are going to have one ride ourselves for emergency cases, right? Where we are not able to get other rides to do that delivery. And that will help us to reduce costs in the starting point. But as we scale up, we are going to get our own rides infrastructure, right? And then for the breakdown of how your delivery gets sent, you just go to our app, you request for delivery, enter the details of the recipient. So the recipient doesn't even need to be on our app, right? And then with the location of where he is, you request whether you wanted to send the last mile delivery or not, okay? You make payment, which is powered by Moolre. We come for the item and send it to the other city. And when you get to the other city, you are aware he has gotten there. Then, because of the number you gave for the recipient, if you ask us to send for the last mile delivery, you just send it directly to the recipient by calling him first to make sure he's around. But if not, the recipient will come to the office and pick up his item. Do you understand it?
So the other questions that I'm thinking about is, how does it get to another campus? And then also, are you thinking of things around insurance? Because, mishaps happen. You can pick up a package and then for some reason it gets to Lagos and then it gets damaged. What happens next? Do you issue a refund, or do you compensate a certain percentage of the price of the item or something like that?
Yes, so for insurance, we are looking at that also, and then we do refunds if the item gets spoiled. However, we are hoping like those events don't happen, like there'll be edge cases. Do you understand? And then for how we move it across the campuses, for the start, we'll partner with those, yes, to do the delivery, right? But then in the very short nearest term, we are hoping to get a simple commercial ride where we can use it for the intercity delivery. Yes.
And are you open to any products being moved from? Because are you open to inspecting the product just so that certain things that might not be the best are not moved from campus to campus?
Drag though. I think we'll.
Yeah. So you give us a detail of what you are moving.
Yeah.
You give us details of what you are moving to the other side. Right, and to confirm that we actually sent it when the person received it, that this also you were sending, we actually inspect them. Right, yeah.
And also when it gets to the person will take a picture. So like how Timu does, you have to take a picture to show that you have delivered it and the person has received it, and they have to sign and things like that to prove. Yeah.
First off, thank you very much for adding the fact that creators will get some of your money. I've seen a lot of them come to pitch. None of them have said that, if you're a they'll invest in creatives. So that's a nice thing to know. I've started selling power banks. Okay, somebody in Tamale told me they needed one. Are you telling me that this platform would conveniently ship the products to them?
So for the start, piloting, we are not starting with the whole Ghana. So currently, our range of services doesn't include Tabale, right? We are starting between 2 campuses, KNUST and Legon, right? We are hoping to go to other campuses as soon as possible. Do you understand? But because, this has a lot of factors, you need to make sure you have a center there. You have people who are going to deliver. To help us to scale easier and faster, we are doing it phase by phase.
Another thing we've noticed is one thing I preach a lot about is scamming. One thing I preach against a lot is scamming.
Scamming, okay.
Yeah, somebody orders something and they don't get it, right? Somebody pays for something and they'll say payment on delivery. Somebody decide you trust them and you're like, okay, when it gets there they'll pay, right? And then you are able to send the product to the person. It gets there, they get the product and they don't pay. You get it. So now the vendors will say, you pay before I bring it to you, because what if you waste my time? But you pay the vendor too and you don't get your product. You get it?
Yeah.
As a delivery company, right, I'm trusting, if I'm using Yango or I'm using Uber, Courier, I'm trusting that even if I'm sending them this phone through Yango, I'm getting the money back regardless, because I can tell the driver that Udu am an chance or send them money. Do you have the same processes? Is there any form of security using your platform to ensure that if it's between a vendor and a buyer or a customer, there's the guarantee that, your delivery service could save them the trouble of worrying about their money going away from both angles?
Yes. So one of the ways we are hoping to ensure those trusts is that when they make the payment, right, it's held in the account until the item gets to the person and then it's released to the person, so that you are sure that we are the trusted backbone behind it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Thomas Boachi Yadom from Isedua. I want to start with the first sash I ever made. By the way, I started weaving when I was in class 6. Back when I was in pharmacy school, at a point, I have the weaving setup in my hostel. In Akan, we call it Isedua. And one time a friend came to me that she needed graduation sash, so I should help her out. I did it for her, and my phone didn't stop ringing for a whole week. If that were you, what would you have done? You make a business out of it, right? Yes. So I made business out of it, and it worked. In fact, it worked really well until it worked too well. Let me tell you what happened. Back in December 2023, KNUST graduation, I took about 5 class contracts. For me, that looks very small because we have about 134 classes or programs in KNUST. But strangely enough, I couldn't complete even one class order. The pressure started mounting. And at that time, if there were any lessons that I really took, it was the fact that these students didn't need their money back. They needed their moments, and you can't refund the moment. Graduation happens once. So I started asking other such sellers whether they were having the same problem. It turns out it was the same everywhere. In fact, the fact is when you are trying to do mass customization on a craft like a sash with tight deadline, no systems in place, you are sure to fail. Nobody should try that. So, do you know what I did? In my first week, 5th year pharmacy school, I decided to pause. Yes, pause the school, enter the market, find out what really is happening. And it turns out there were plenty problems. John is here to talk to us about some.
Yeah, thank you very much, Thomas. And by the way, his nickname is Moolre, and we happen to be here in the Moolre competition. And before I begin, judges, take a look at what we are wearing. The hats, the batakari, the sash, and the basket right there. All of these were woven beautifully by Ghanaian artisans. And on the sashes are your names customized. And you'll find some QR code there. And when you scan the QR code, it will send you to our site 3D customizer page, where you'll be able to see a 3D preview of how we customize your sash before we went ahead to produce them. In fact, all our customers have access to this 3D customizer that they can customize their sashes, see how it will look like before they go ahead and produce them. Judges, you are holding our product, and our product is holding your name. But as you hold on fast to this product, I want you to think of this thought-provoking question. Look at all the crafts here. Is there a single entity, a single brand, that when you want to have access to all these crafts, you just go there, order it, and it will be delivered to you no matter where you are in the world? Did you get one? I'm sure you didn't get one. And that there is the market. In fact, we are solving two kinds of problems. One is accessibility, and the other is trust and presentation. Let's talk about accessibility. You see, let's talk about a batakari maker called Adoko in Bogatanga. Adoko is a batakari maker. His father was, and his grandfather was, his great-grandfather was. So he was born in the culture of batakari making. But then there was this time where Mahama was wearing batakari and it gained global traction. So many people wanted it. Adoko knew that he could grab part of that global market, but he didn't know how he could do that. And that's where Insedia comes in. Insedia tells Adoko that, hey, just focus on making good batakari. We would make sure that we make your product accessible to the global market. The other one is trust and accessibility. You see, we live in a world these days whereby the quality of a product doesn't just depend on the product anymore, but it depends on how the product is presented and the brand that is presenting the product. And I have a story to tell here. You see, there was a time where a customer called me wanting batakari, so I called up one of my suppliers to send him pictures of the batakari. So he sent the customer the picture of the batakari, and the customer came back to me, telling him that, hey, John, the batakari that the guy sent me is fake. I'm like, why? He said, the picture that the guy took, he took the picture of the batakari lying on a mat, and because of that, he felt that it was fake. This was 100% quality batakari, being tagged as fake. And to be fair on our artisans' part, that is the culture that was passed down to them from generations. You see, our grandfathers sat on mats to make this batakari, and they passed that down. So when they are done making the batakari, they just put it down there and they take the pictures to share. You see, the problem here was never the craft. The problem was the presentation. And that's what we do. We take their craft and present it in a way that is appealing to the today's buyer. You see, Insedia seeks to be a premium, trusted brand behind African craft. And now, Thomas, would you like to tell us about the market and the metrics?
Thank you. So there are several big markets for the sash products alone, and we want to talk about only two of them. And these are their respective market values. The first one is the HBCUs. In the southeastern part of the United States, there are more than 100 schools. Categorically, we call them the historically black colleges and universities. And these schools, according to the National Center for Education Statistics in the US, they produce about 48,800 students every single year. And at the moment, the average sash price in the US markets for a custom sash is around $50. That means that when we have our own production units and we decide to tap just 5% of that market, we are going to produce only 600 units of sachets every year to the US, but that will be worth 370,000 cedis. On the other hand, the Ghana tertiary markets, we know Ghana produces about 110,000 students every single year in the tertiary market. And currently, the average sash price in the Ghanaian market is 120 cedis. It also tells us that, once again, when we have our own production units and we decide to tap only 5% of that market, we are going to produce about 2,000 units of sachets every single year, and the value will be 230,000 cedis. So indeed, the market is there. And there are a lot beyond graduation sashes. The market is already buying. Just 2 months into when we started building these systems, we've generated over 15,000 cedis with nothing spent on marketing. John, would you want to continue?
Yeah, Thomas, and you see all this big market that we are talking about here. Moolre stands at the core as our financial nervous system. You see, Moolre doesn't just help us collect payment, but Moolre helps us to connect to our customers and retain them at the same time. We integrate 5 Moolre APIs and Moolre services, and I'll tell you about them. We use their WhatsApp API to send promotional messages to our customers on WhatsApp because that's where they live. And we use their collections API to collect money from our customers. We use their disbursement API to disburse money to our artisans. We also use their USSD services to allow our artisans to check their earnings. We use their SMS services to send messages to our customers so that they'll be able to track their delivery statuses. You see, we don't just build for artisans. We build as artisans, as people that understand the problem true and true. And I'll ask, you see all these crafts here, all of them share the same big problem, but they deserve their own unique solutions. We believe that we have solved the search problem much better than anybody could have, but then we still have one big bottleneck, and that is that we don't have our own factory. You see, when we are going to customize our sachets, we lease production time to factories for them to produce it for us. But when we get the prize money, 80,000 Ghana cedis, it will help us to buy our own machines and set up our own mini factory that will help us to finally complete our efficient pipeline of such production. Judges, this is Insidia, run by artisans, powered by Moolre, and we ship to the world. Thank you.
So you bribed us.
I'm lost for words.
Yeah. That's very creative and brilliant. And I must add one thing though. Somebody was saying in the comments that you need Raven for your services. I don't know if Raven is here. I don't know if Raven is around here. Yeah, they are there. So you need to find a way to partner with Raven for your deliveries, you know. Yeah, but generally, I think it's a nice thing. You know, it's something you rarely see in the, should I say, local space or traditional space, especially when it comes to things like this. We are all looking at getting the, you know, bruciatare or whatever they call it, without focusing more on. Also, I need one fugu. Okay, if I'll come and see. I've never won one before, so I want to try. When I saw it on you, I feel like, yeah, I need to try some.
You said yes, available.
Yeah. I was checking your platform out after I scanned the QR code. I'm not really going to ask any questions. I'm just going to comment the fact that you've been able to build something like that. You know, to be able to just scan, check the 3D version, gives you access to know how it even looks like before it gets to you. Because somebody orders a sash and it comes and you don't really know what you're getting, especially if you're not close to come and view the process yourself. So it helps, you know, it's efficient, cuts time, gets people to see what they're getting before. So kudos to you guys, great stuff. And I'm hoping my people here don't ask plenty questions.
I'm impressed. You know, like I like the pitch, just to add that. And I mean, I've always been telling people that production is big, you know, if you do it the right way. And you were saying you've left school.
Yes.
School?
Currently, I've paused.
Hey, please finish the school.
Taking a big bet on yourself. I like that. I actually like the sound of that. I think that maybe just expand. Think of, like, after you figure out the infra for production, expand to other crafts like arts and crafts. Because trust me, there are people who would even want, you know, those beaded things. And I saw when I scanned the QR code, I was actually impressed. Great product. If you build the infrastructure right, you have a huge market. Trust me.
Thank you.
Maybe you should talk to him after to find out why he knows that for sure.
Sure.
No, well done. Very, very practical solution to something that, you know, especially being somebody who spends a lot of time in the diaspora. One thing that came to mind I didn't hear in your pitch was about, the credibility and authenticity. And I think that came through in some of the things you were saying about, where the craftsmanship is happening. It's just the presentation that's missing. A lot of times when I see these things over there, they're not, the quality that we have here. So don't be afraid to price higher. I saw the price of my sash and I was like, wow, I would pay more for it. So
we are currently running a promotion. That's how come.
Oh, I see. Okay. And for everybody else, it's 95 cedis for the sash. So if that's authentic kente plus all the custom work, I think you can probably charge more.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, I think great stuff too, and I like your presentation a lot. For me, I had a very terrible experience with my sash during my graduation. So this product would really help people that are very far. You send someone, oh, I need a sash, do this for me. They come and then it's something else. So it helps you customize and do. I think it's a great stuff. Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
That's it. No criticism.
Well done. No, they came to bribe us. Maybe the bribe worked. Nice presentation. Not just speaking, but the look as well.
I wish the startup car was white or blue or black. Yeah, I have fun at all. Everything
I'm not trying to get footage. You guys were good. They weren't overly ambitious. I think sometimes people just reach too far. Like just, yeah. Exactly. I was even thinking of that myself. Honestly, I would. I just don't know how it works here. But yes.
So, good afternoon. Yeah, so I want to start with something simple. Every great business in history was built on one of two things. It's either you brought something new, a new behavior, and convinced people to use it, or you organize the unstructured behavior. And that's what Unilume is. So Unilume is a verified digital campus platform for university students. The problem we are trying to solve is, currently, Ama Sewa sitting somewhere in Cat Hall. She sells fashion apparels. She's in Kane University, surrounded by 85,000 students. And her monthly income from selling fashion apparels is not even up to 500 cedis. So we are giving you the exposure. And then next week is an examination week. Slides, past questions, they drop that midweek. They drop on that D-Day. There's no inventory in Ghana right now that takes care of study materials and past questions across universities. We handle that. And then they always say, your network is your net worth. We are in a community of about 600,000 students where we transact, just 2024, over 2 trillion transactions of Momo happened in the youth space in university. And not even up to 10% of that went into the student pocket. But we offer these same services and gigs as well. Yeah. So that's where Unilume comes in. Unilume is a verified platform, verified infrastructure for university students. So as a seller, you could go there and expose your storefront. We have a marketplace where there's a P2P, a B2P, and then a B2C. So a P2P is a seller, a student selling to a seller. A B2P is a student who has a storefront, offering their store services to other students. And a B2C is an external brand that sells to students. And then we have an edutech and an AI feature. So we have a collection of slides and materials across universities. So as a computer science student in Kane University, you should be able to get slides and past questions across universities in Ghana. You should be able to learn ahead. Right now, you don't have anything like that. Your slides come from your course rep, your WhatsApp gets deleted, and then it just goes away. Nothing like that. Everything just pops up during the examination week. You cannot learn ahead.
There's no directory for that. Then our marketplace and gigs and services platform is escrow protected. I bought a shoe, I needed it that night, I got it 3 days after, because you've already sent the money. There's nothing you can do about it. So a buyer sends the money, we keep it in escrow. The seller sends out their product, the buyer confirms on the release code, just like what Haptel does currently with delivering food. Yeah, so that's escrow protected. And then you braid, you offer braiding services, you are in CAT, your access is less 200 students. We are giving an exposure that the next door person may need your service, the next 2 halls may need your service, but they don't even know you exist. So you're giving that exposure to raise your income from that 500 to 1,500 or 2,000. Yeah, so I said earlier, Ama Sewa is a third year who sells streetwear from her hostel. We transact every day on campus. She earns about 2,000 a month, reaching just 200 people. KUST alone is 85,000 students. We offer you an exposure to 10,000 plus students, which will increase her income to about 15,000 to 20,000. We transact every day. University students is one of the population in Ghana that use Momo most. And according to research from Ashesi and KUST, a university student who uses Momo spends more than one who does not have a Momo account or a fiscal cash. Yeah, so with the year 1, we're targeting 50,000 students. In our voting period, we got about 7,000 votes in 4 days. And we have about 200, out of that, we have about 200 sellers ready to sell. We are yet to launch the platform, it's in beta. And then we are targeting 50,000. So year 1, we should be able to cover 50,000 students. KUST alone is 85,000, and we are servicing our pilots is in KUST, and then Legon. We take a marketplace commission on how to make money. We take a marketplace commission of 5% on buying and selling, offering your gigs, your services. And then we have what we call looms on the platform. You are rewarded for using the platform. So as a retention layer, there's a social retention layer. So whilst going through the mobile application, my colleague walked around. So whilst using the platform, you get looms that are backed up by sponsors. So example, MTN has a budget to do something with university students. They come to us, we run that with university students, and then they get a share of it. As big as they are, the creators themselves, they are supposed to get a share from it, from creating content on the platform, posting on the platform, just like what we have with TikTok content budgeting. Then we have a study session where the braillets, as we call them, create a study sessions, and then a student can join. For now, it's free. We plan to increase, follow a revenue model of maybe a brailler post the study session, student join at a 1 CD rate or 2 CD rate to learn from that study group or study session. Right, so with volume, as I said earlier, we transact a lot. So at 50,000 users, even if one person transacts only 4 times on the platform, so that you buy a shoe, buy a dress, you book a braiding from Amma in Cat Hall, or you book a graphic design from my friend in College of Science, just 4 times, one person transacts just 4 times in the whole month. That's about 200,000 Moolre API calls. And then in year 2, we're targeting 100,000 scale. So just as the same way, you transact just 5 times. So example, out of the whole month, today I bought sneakers. The following week, I ordered a graphic design of 50 CDs. So just 4 transactions per person will give you 200,000 per month, and we transact every day. So we are not trying to create a new behavior. It's something that already exists, and they are giving it an infrastructure. So when you hear of Unilumi, you hear of university, you want you to hear Unilumi next. Yeah, so as I said earlier, at 50,000 is what we get. So as Unilumi increase, Moolre increases with us. So we use Moolre collections, Moolre's disbursement, and then Moolre's SMS. So in escrow, once the buyer enters the release code, the payment is sent instantly to the seller. We hold the escrow on Moolre. Once they enter the release code, payment is sent instantly to the seller's mobile money account. Yeah, as I said earlier, we got 7,058 votes from 4 days, and most of them are target users. We're asking, when is it going to be released? When can I start selling? When can I offer my braiding services? Yeah. And then we are a team of 20 people. 20 people I've worked with across the years, and most of the models here are proven physically. We have an NGO called Blockbridge. We run a boot camp. We got about 125 people that covered around 45,000 CDs for the boot camp, and then the selling. A colleague of mine also sells, and then so most of the models we are using right now are proven models, and then we just want to scale it digitally to other campuses. Yeah. So when you say Illumi, you just say, when you come on the platform, so university students, you should be able to learn smarter. You should be able to earn better, and you should be able to connect with your fellow university students across campuses as your network is your net worth. Thank you.
This is your last one, so you are not thanking. Yeah, I mean, something nice. No, not for them.
So this is a super app, right?
Yes, please.
How many users do you have now?
Now we are in the testing phase. We have 50 users testing the application, and then 200 plus sellers ready to onboard. And so we don't want a situation where we launch and then the place is empty. So we are looking at a 5,000 base, and then we publicly launch.
5,000 users.
Base, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You send the application to them.
What kinds of sellers do you have onboarded right now? Just curious about the types of things that they are. You mentioned
fashion, apparel sellers, electronics, those who sell the phones, the laptops, sell the dresses, students who sell those stuff, and then those who offer services like braiding, graphic designing, and all that. Yeah.
Okay, and these are all targeting students?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been around now, the test or MVP?
So we opened the testing just, I think, a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah, a month ago. We've been building Udemy for 8 months now.
And you have 50 people who have signed up?
55 users for our beta testing.
Okay.
And then for 200 plus on the seller side.
Yeah, I heard you say that. Okay.
So can you walk me through the number of maybe features? So you're saying there's education, for learning, then there's selling, there's services, and then there's what else again?
Yeah, so the features are based on our pillars. So the learn, earn, and connect. So as a university student, once you enter there, you'll be able to learn. So we have inventory of slides and past questions across universities in Ghana and across programs. And then those past questions and slides are used, just like Sovit said, are used for our AI features. So the flashcards, and then we build a RAG pipeline. So if Professor Isaac says there will be a quiz on marketing, page 2, you should be able to use our Lumi AI, say, solve page 2's, Prof. Isaac's page 2's question for me. I don't get it. Yeah, and then there's a study session where, as we call them, the brilliants can also earn from their brilliancy. So they create a study group, and then I'm teaching marketing today. I'm going to be teaching it for 30 minutes. If you'd like to join, for now it's free, but we would like to introduce a joining fee, maybe 1 cedis. So if you'd like to join, you pay 1 cedis, you join, and then I teach you guys today. So that's the learning aspect. And then for the earning aspect, we are capturing, we are the university infrastructure. So we are capturing the university students, and throughout the transactions, we perform various actions in transactions. We buy and sell, that's where the marketplace come in. We book services, that's where the gigs and services come in. We book hostels, which we also run. We did a physical, we helped students book hostels last year. Service fee is 300 cedis. So yeah, they can also book hostels there. We plan on introducing other services as we go on, because most of the actions we do throughout these transactions are scattered. So when you enter there, any action you want to do as a university student, you should be able to do it on Udemy. And then the connection aspect has to do with our retention layer. There's competitors out there who have built a marketplace, GG, and all that. But the retention layer helps students stay hooked. So just like social media, we have an anonymous section First, it was not part, but as research goes on, it was like we should add it. So it keeps the students hooked. And a unique clip session where fellow content creators, students, can also grow a following base and get these brand deals to who are targeting the youth, university students. Yeah, so example, what we find out is, the just past president myself, computer science. So what we find out is most companies have budgets, especially the banks, for these youth in the university base. So maybe they come to us, we have 20,000. We want to perform spread-wide account creation. So we want to provide income for the students as we are also getting income. And then as the user base grows, Moolre also gets an income. And this is 200,000 Moolre API calls. That's about 200,000 CDs. If even one student makes only 4 transactions, all these actions I've mentioned makes only 4, total of 4 a month. That's 200,000 out of 50,000 students. And we were able to get 7,000 students for the vote in 4 days. So 50,000 with a 20 team, very zealous people, you can in a month.
So your model is commission based. So every transaction
Every transaction.
That's where you make your money.
Yeah,
Okay.
so in 2024, we transacted 3 trillion Ghana cedis through Momo.
Okay. And then just a comment, you mentioned having done some work on hostels last year. I think in the future you should include that in your pitch because it's work that preceded what you've done in the last month or 2 months. That's very, very valuable, right? So trying things without having written a line of code. I always say this, that's proving that there's a market for what you're doing. So include that in and everything else you explored, right, in the journey that you're pitching.
So there's a housing feature now. We plan on scaling it up. So the service fee was 300 cedis, and even that one we couldn't do more because the team was small, and then the pressure was too much. Hostel booking pressure starts even before the last semester exam, so everybody wants to hostel hunt. So once they get an agent that can do that for them, with them staying in the house, and they just come and then stay in. So there's a lot of demand on that sector too.
So basically, you are building around the life cycle of a student.
Of a university student.
So it's more like a university but on my phone.
Yeah.
I can do everything that students do on campus.
And you already do that. So just saying, come here, then it's better skill. Yeah.
What is the area that you are betting on the most within the super app?
You are building everything.
Yeah. We are betting on marketplace the most.
Marketplace.
We buy and sell a lot.
How you curving things like fraud? And how you curving things like fraud? And see if I live in Samibum and then I sign up on Uniblumi, how do you know that I'm a student? Do you take maybe my ID,
So in the sign-up process,
data or something.
In the sign-up process, we take your university details, then we take your student's ID. For now, we are manually verifying that with course reps. Yeah, so you sign up, you said you are a computer science year 2 student. Course rep, please, these are the lists we have today. Are they in computer science year 2? So that's what we are manually doing now. We plan on, as the skill grows, and we plan on partnering with the universities themselves and offer the edutech services more.
So how many universities are you currently working with?
Currently, we are piloting in K University.
So
after the launch, a month later,
you are using to test
K University.
It's intriguing. I'm curious to see where you'll be in about a year.
In a year, when you hear university, we want us to hear Unilumi. When you hear a success story of a university student, we want us to know it was because of Unilumi. That's why. Yeah.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I don't know how I feel about the product. It's
I think
pretty nice.
it is, but I think
There's a
it
market
costs so
here.
little.
Let me know when you want me to.
It doesn't cost them anything to build.
Yeah.
And then wherever it hits, right? So like
Let me know.
marketplace.
You're doing everything just to see what will work.
Exactly.
Is it?
But it's a very Chinese way of building, right?
Hey everyone, thank you for sticking through this journey with us. We started, I think we opened registrations on the 1st of June. Then we've been through the builders building their staff, submitting, going through the first round. Then we had public voting, and then we had we just wrap up the final stage that have to do with the pitching. So yeah, right after this, the results will be collated, and then we'll not announce it publicly though. We'll be opening up registration for the awards stroke mixer night on the 29th of August. That's is it 2 or 3 Saturdays from now? So if you want to attend, please just RSVP via the link that will make public, and then we'll announce on the night of the event the winners. Then we hand out the prizes, and yeah, then we'll officially wrap up the 2026 Startup Cup powered by Moolre. We have plans to actually run a session next year again, so we hope to see you guys soon on the 29th of August. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye.